Social-cultural change. Introduction. In this study session, you will be familiarized with how culture changes over time. Note that change is constant, but culture is ever-changing. Therefore, no specific cultural patterns remain resistant to change. You will also learn how culture changes in the modern world. You may want to ask, how culture changes generally? Then how culture changes in the modern world? Learning outcomes for study session 8. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Define and use correctly all of the keywords printed in bold. 2. Discuss how culture changes. 3. Describe how culture changes in the modern world. How culture changes. Culture is not static. It is dynamic and ever-changing. Because culture consists of learned patterns of behavior and beliefs. Cultural traits can be learned, unlearned, and relearned as human needs changes. Cultural change. There are some noticeable changes when we compare ourselves with our parents' generation or their parents' generations. Can you think of such changes in terms of music, dressing, mannerism, use of language, and religion? One of the main bases for cultural change in any society is innovation, which is the occurrence of new traits made possible as a result of discovery and invention. Other indices are diffusion and acculturation. Discoveries and inventions may stimulate cultural change. The new element may be an object, the wheel, the plow, the computer, or it may be an idea, Christianity, Islam, and communism. The distinction between discovery and an invention has to do with whether or not the new knowledge is used in some practical way. Thus, a person might discover that children can be persuaded to eat nourishing food by associating the food with an imaginary character who appeals to them. The discovery, however, merely adds to his personal store of knowledge. Yet, if he exploits the discovery by developing the character of a hero, creating a series of animated cartoons in which his hero acquires miraculous strength by devouring cans of spinach in a variety of dramatic situations, and thus stimulate spinach sales at a national level, he may then take a credit for an invention. How culture changes in the modern world. Modern societies all over the world are no longer looking for magical means to solve their problems of existing. The strategies have become increasingly intellectual and scientific. Modern man has accepted the fact that change is inevitable, whether internally or externally induced. The process of cultural changes has involved 4 distinct elements. They are the social structure, psychological, political, and economic factors. Change in social structure occurs structurally in the society as the society moved from one stage to the other. Hypothetically, traditional to modern, that is, agrarian society to industrialized society, to technology, then to information. The point here is not the cancelling of cultural differences in the other society, but rather the recognition of the fact that as modern man, we have a lot in common that we previously acknowledged. Psychology scholars have suggested that traditional people enjoy close personal attachment and have full control over the product of their labor, whereas urban individuals are often isolated from their relatives and are converted into mere units of labor. Political implication. Modern man has now realized that he can shape and control his natural and social environment. Therefore, his attitude changes from one of the acceptance of the status quo to one activism. He has rejected the idea of political authority based on divine right or tradition. Authority now requires a mere rational basis. Economic factors. Modern economy is characterized by commercial exchange. The proliferation of buying and selling in markets, accompanied by the use of money as a medium of exchange, is secularized in the sense that it functions in accordance with rational principle rather than sentimental or traditional requirements. Summary of Study Session 8. In Study Session 8, you have learned that 1. Anthropologists view culture as an entity that encompasses language, means of making a living, arrangement of family life, the focus of group loyalties, and ways of perceiving the world, that is, both the physical and the world beyond. 2. One of the main bases for cultural change in any society is innovation, which is the occurrence of new traits made possible as a result of discovery and invention. Other indices are diffusion and acculturation. 3. The process of cultural changes in the modern world involve 4 distinct elements. They are the social structure, psychological, political, and economic factors. We have now come to the end of Study Session 8, and this is the end of SOAK 212. Thanks for listening.